We're talking NBA futures here, and welcome in the maestro, Larry Hartstein, as we look into his crystal ball for a look ahead at the 2023 season. And yes, prior to the bevy of expected offseason moves. Larry, let's start with the Western Conference winner. That conference the Lakers hail from. The Suns had the best regular season by a wide margin, but it's the Warriors that won the title. So which way are you going there?
Well, that intro kind of threw me, and I had to take a step back after hearing the Lakers were the preseason favorite last year to come out of the Western Conference. I'm still trying to let that sink in, just given how bad they are and how the roster is just not constructed. So I'm definitely not going with the Lakers. They're not even in consideration for me. If the Warriors are going to outspend everyone again, if they're going to keep Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins and re-sign Gary Payton, Kevon Looney, and pay Steph and Clay and Draymond about $100 million or $120 million combined, yes, they deserve to be the favorites. But I'm looking down on the odds board at a team that's 11-1. The Denver Nuggets. Look who didn't play last year. Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. They played a combined 9 games. This team still won 48 games behind the 2-time reigning MVP Jokic. The starting lineup includes, of course, Murray and Porter, Aaron Gordon, and now they imported a very underrated guy in KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Played a big role in that Lakers championship a few years ago, played very well for Washington last season, shot 39% from deep, and is a very good wing defender, which is exactly what Denver needed. I think the Nuggets are live in the West.
All right, Larry, the Celtics won the East this past season, went to Game 6 of the NBA Finals. What are the chances of the C's pulling that off again?
Well, very good if Robert Williams stays healthy. I'm just going to look a little bit down on the odds board to the number 2 choice. That's the Milwaukee Bucks. They could have and probably would have beaten the Celtics if Chris Middleton had been available for that series. They will have the big 3 intact going into next year. I'm talking about Giannis, Middleton, and of course Drew Holiday. Pat Connaughton opted in. That's a 40% three-point shooter. Now, Bobby Portis just opted out, averaged 14 and 9, but he did the same thing last year, and then he re-signed with the Bucks. So if Portis comes back, you had Lopez missing most of last season. This team has got all the continuity. Giannis, in age 27, going to have another monster year. I'll take the Bucks in the East.
Yeah, that's hard to argue right there. The Bucks, well-rounded team, plenty of depth. Let's take it up a notch, though, Larry. We're looking for next year's NBA champ, and I'm sure you'll consider odds with regards to value, but there's only so many teams that are good enough to hoist the Larry O'Brien Trophy. So which team do you see as champs next season?
Well, as we talked about, if the Warriors are true to their word and they open the pocketbooks and pay another luxury tax of $170 or $200 million to keep this amazing roster intact, you have to go with the Warriors. But let's say age, let's say injuries catch up with this team. Clay only played 32 games last season. The expectation is he'll be healthy for a full season next year. But what if those things start to catch up to the Warriors? Then I'm going to stick with my pick of the Milwaukee Bucks. They were this close this season. If Middleton didn't get hurt, they might have won the title this season, or at least gotten to the NBA Finals. They have the big 3 intact. This is like a last hurrah for this crew, and I think they're going to make it a very serious contention in 23.
All right, enough about the teams. The NBA, that's the Players League. We all know that. Who do you like on the board for league MVP next season?
Luka came into last season as the favorite, but he came in out of shape, and everybody remembers what a slow start he got off to. But look at the way he finished. The last 23 games, over 30 points a game, 9 boards, 8 assists, and now they bring in Christian Wood, a huge upgrade over Dwight Powell in terms of your starting center. That's going to take a rebounding load off of Luka, and I think Christian Wood is going to have a monster year, and Luka is going to get a lot of credit for that. I mean, this guy with the pick and roll that those two are going to run all season, and Christian Wood can also pick and pop and hit the 3. I think Luka Doncic is the best bet right now for MVP.
Yeah, he's probably in that conversation every year. Let's take a look at the rooks, though. Following the draft, top odds to claim Rookie of the Year were the top pick, Paolo Banchero, as well as the 3rd pick, Jabari Smith. You have Chet Holmgren in between. You also have Jaden Ivey in Detroit and Keegan Murray with the Kings, who went 4. Who do you like for the 2023 NBA Rookie of the Year, Larry?
let's go with a heartwarming, sentimental story, and that is Jaden Ivey in Detroit. You know, his grandfather played for the Detroit Lions, his mom played for the WNBA team, and his dad played high school football in Detroit. So there's just so many family ties, and then you pair him with Cade Cunningham on a team without Jeremy Grant anymore, and this backcourt is going to be electric. And Cade Cunningham draws so much attention. He creates good shots for everybody else, and he's going to create a ton of shots for Jaden Ivey, who averaged over 17 a game, shot 36% from deep as Purdue. I mean, this guy was a pro. Everyone said it last year watching him play that he has a pro's game, and he's going to get every opportunity in Detroit. And I think that sentimental story is also going to carry a little weight, and I think Detroit's going to be much improved. They got a big center in the draft as well, and if he can get
Six didn't play last
the
week.
Boston Celtics.
He will come
and
off.
they've got
You
that
saw the run
competitive
pass
core with
balance.
Jimmy Butler and Bam
There
Adebayo.
on third
They
down.
do face some uncertainty around role players, though, heading into this offseason for Eric Spoelstra. They are just 2 years removed from making the finals back in the bubble. They won 5 playoff series over the last 3 seasons.
He's going to get the
with
Colts a
Butler
first down.
and Bam. 2 seasons ago making the finals. Last year lost in the first round, and just this past postseason lost in the conference finals for the Seas. Let's bring in
So
Colin
low to the
Ward-Henninger
ground, so
and
dynamic
Ira
is
Winderman, who
Taylor.
covers the Heat for the Sun Sentinel.
Last
Fellas,
week, his
Pat
third
Riley
100-yard
still
game of the
steering the
season.
ship, 77 years old. Ira, I believe he challenged you to a push-up contest.
Crazy to think the kid's
What
still
does
only
Pat
22
Riley
years old.
bring at this age?
What a
And
player
really
he's become here for the
comfort
Colts.
level to the organization, the city, and Heat Nation as a whole.
He's the godfather.
First
I mean,
and
down
10,
here,
Taylor
if it all
picks up the
started
blitzer,
sports-wise
wins,
with Don
put his
Shula,
back into it.
Pat Riley picked up
Towards
the
the
mantle
end
from
zone.
there, and you can see
Defends the
players that come in
50.
here. All of a sudden, it's like, oh my God, it's that Pat Riley. And now, even if you have to watch the old Pat Riley on HBO and the Lakers show there, he still carried that cachet with players. He was the one, as much as anyone, who got Jimmy Butler to come here. He's the one who's kept the
We saw
legacy
this a number
alive,
of times
and
against
he's
the
the one who
49ers.
refuses to lose.
Underneath
No
balls,
remaking the
Pascal
franchise
trying to
here,
come
no
back,
rebuilding,
Hooker
no
not doing
tanking.
anything.
It's who
If
he is,
turns his
and
head, they certainly
and
don't
he probably
call it, but
counted 77
because he's
to do
coming
more
back
push-ups.
through the body, that's why they call it, and it's something that
Yeah, that's
Mike
what
Vrabel
Pat
talked
Riley
to us about.
brings
They knew
is
that
winning.
that's
They're
exactly
almost
what these
synonymous,
receivers
right?
try to do, work
There's
back
that
through
famous
the
story about him
defender
dropping
and
the
draw
ring
those
on
fouls.
the
They
table during
were
free agency
specific about
pitches
getting
to
those
say, hey,
heads
look,
around
if you
so
come
that the
here, we're here to win
referees were not gonna
championships.
call those
And that's
plays.
what players
Colts got a
want.
big one.
Every single one of them
Second one
talks
on
about
Hooker.
winning. They don't talk about how
Turns
many
out to
points
be a
they're going to score or
41-yard
how many
penalty
all-star
against Tennessee.
appearances they're going to make. They want to win,
First
and they
and
know
goal.
that Pat Riley can bring that. So when he's the one making these pitches to free agents, or he's the one kind of enticing people to want to be traded there or things like that, that holds a huge amount of cachet with these players, as Ira said. So I think that is why the Heat have been able to stay relevant, stay in the championship hunt for all these years without having to rebuild. And I think that they're going to continue to build towards those championship goals,
down at the end, and watch,
starting with
he's
this
just going to
offseason.
sneak across and
Felt
come
like
back
it was
across the
possible to win a
formation
title
as
last
everything
season,
else is
got
going
home court
right.
advantage throughout the East, but lost.
Sneak
on their
across.
home court
Landry
in
doesn't
that
know what
last
to do.
game
He's
of the
in
Eastern
between.
Conference Finals.
Wide
Ira,
open for
what's
the
dream
touchdown.
scenario this offseason?
Set up by
for
that pass
Miami?
interference play.
It's
Can't
really
sell
to
the
keep
fake
things
much better than
copacetic,
Wentz
Chris,
did
to try to
there.
bring back the
First
floor, maybe add one more
touchdown
piece.
catch
But
of
as
the
everyone's
season
heard by
for
now,
Jack Doyle.
there's some consternation about P.J. Tucker, whether they're going to lose him to Philadelphia. All of a sudden, they would have no power forwards on the roster where they stand, even after the draft, going into free agency. So it's the little things. The Heat, I don't want to say it's a big three. That's overstating Bam Adebayo,
This
Jimmy
summer,
Butler,
be sure
and
to
Kyle
celebrate
Lowry.
the stars
But they have the
and
core.
stripes.
They want to keep
But
it
don't
together.
forget
Their
about
thought
the
is
circles
they were one Jimmy
and
Butler's
flags.
three-point attempt from making
And
the NBA Finals.
whatever shape
Nothing
this
too
is,
drastic.
it's
And again,
summer
it's
savings
win
worth
now.
celebrating.
Kyle Lowry's
Feels like 4th of
36.
July
Jimmy
at the Home
Butler's going to be
Depot.
33.
My graduation
This is all about
was
living in
something
the
I will
moment.
never forget.
Hey, you
People
said
like you
dream
and me
scenario,
sometimes
right?
may
I know
have
Ira was
doubts
a
in
little more
ourselves, but I
realistic,
feel
but
that
how about
everything's
we go out
possible.
and trade for Donovan Mitchell, something
Find
like
free
that?
adult
Let's push
education
him over the
classes
top.
near you
Obviously,
at
that would take a pretty
finishyourdiploma.org.
hefty
The
haul, maybe
best
Tyler
band
Hero,
bridge
Duncan Robinson, a
experiences.
couple of
I
picks,
am
a young
humbled
player, whatever it takes.
to be welcomed
But
to
if
the
you're
Pro
talking about
Football
a dream
Hall of Fame,
scenario
the Hall
where
of Fame's
the Heat
enshrined.
get a piece that they could
Celebrate
put
the
next to Jimmy
unveiling
Butler
of
to
the
give him
symbol
some
of
help. We
supremacy,
saw how much
the
he
Bronze
struggled
Bus,
to have
where
to
Tony
carry that
Vaselli,
team
Cliff
offensively
Branch,
night in and night
Dwight
out
Butler,
during the playoffs.
Mark
He didn't a tremendous job. If you add Donovan Mitchell in the backcourt along with Bam Adebayo, suddenly you have a team that might become championship favorite outing. So if we're talking about dream scenarios, adding a guy like Donovan Mitchell, I think would really put them over the top.
Be a superstar that could lift them over the top. Every team that is filled with superstars, you need those role players to help actually get you there. We've seen so many
there isn't too much hot sauce, is there? I have a
fall short because they didn't have that. Let's talk Kyle Lowry, Ira. He's 36 years old now, has a couple years left.